Dubai International Film Festival, the one and only James Vanderbilt. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm one and only.
You are the one and only.
As far as I know.
Yeah, you are to us, 100%. On your directorial debut, you've worked with Robert Redford and with Cate Blanchett. How was that?
Terrifying. It was terrifying. No, it was amazing. They were incredible. And Robert Redford's a director himself. The first movie he directed, he won an Academy Award for. So there was no pressure whatsoever. None whatsoever. No, they were both incredible and so kind and so open. And but it's an odd process. It's sort of like you're sitting in seat 37A and they walk up to you and say, "Would you like to land the plane?" So.
Now, for people who haven't seen or know about Truth,
Sure.
Give us a synopsis.
Sure. So, Truth is the story of Mary Mapes, who's played by Cate Blanchett, and in 2004, she worked for CBS News and a news magazine there called 60 Minutes too. She was Dan Rather's producer, who Robert Redford plays. Mm-hmm. And in September of 2004, they ran a story about then sitting President George W. Bush and his time in the Texas Air National Guard, and how family connections may have gotten him into the Guard instead of going to the Vietnam War, and also how he may have been AWOL during his time there. So they ran the story on a Wednesday, and by Thursday the whole thing had blown up in their face. So it's a movie about politics, it's a movie about journalism, it's a movie about power, and it's a fascinating film.
Now, in 2004, obviously, the internet played quite a big part in that story breaking so fast. How do you think now the world that we are in 2015 affects world stories like the one that you've done this film about, and how social media plays a part in that, in modern day journalism?
Well, I think it's so much faster now, and one of the things that's fascinating about this story is it was the first time that the internet really rose up and affected what you would now call a mainstream media story, and the speed with which that happened was so surprising to everybody involved, but it's a speed with now which we live with every day. Which is it's sort of a friend of mine.
You can get everything on your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just said, you have to text the wife, which is probably back in America.
Absolutely,
and make sure everything's okay.
No, you have to check in, but the speed with which all of that happens is our lives.
Now, also too, let's not forget, you screenwrote the amazing Spiderman, which we absolutely loved.
Oh, good.
How have you found moving from something like being a screenwriter into being a director? Is there a weird transition, or has it just been seamlessly flowed into?
I think it's a transition, but it's a great one. And it's a little bit apples and 747s. When you're a screenwriter, you sit alone in a small dark room and talk to yourself. When you're a director, you stand in a very large room and have 100 people looking at you going, "What do we do next? What do we do next?" But it's all storytelling. And the thing I loved about directing was working with the actors, and the thing I loved about being the screenwriter as well of the film is I could blame the writer whenever the actors. I said, "I don't know who wrote this, but we'll figure it out."
Now, obviously, we're a men's magazine. We've got lots of boys who are tuning in to watch this sort of stuff. You are Mr. Spider-Man. How do you feel about Spider-Man now becoming part of a Marvel franchise in the new... what is it? It's
Civil War.
Civil War,
Civil War,
by Captain America.
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited, man. It's just the little boy in me, the what if of having Spidey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think is going to be so cool.
Awesome, that's amazing. Now, last question for you.
Sure.
You've dressed very dapper today, but what does Mr. James Vanderbilt wear when he's just kicking back and doing nothing? I'm in usually jeans and a t-shirt and a flannel shirt, maybe if I'm feeling especially spiffy that day. I do not usually wear a suit. Did you have any say in what Robert Redford was going to wear when he was in your movie? Because obviously he's a news anchor there, and normally they're quite sort of prissy and done up to the top, aren't they? Did you have any say in what he was going to wear? I did, yeah. That's the wonderful thing about directing. You get to dress there, you get to do everything, and he dresses very much like the real Dan Rather does. But Robert Redford in real life hates wearing a suit more than anything else in the world. He hates wearing a tie, and so it would always be like a kid getting out of Sunday school at the end of the show. He would know what his last setup was, and he'd just look at me every time to see if we were going to go again, and he would go, "Can I take off the tie?" And I'd say, "Yep, we're done." He'd rip it off. So yeah. James, thank you ever so much for stopping by to see us. It's been really a great pleasure. We tomorrow are actually going and do the Star Wars premiere. Oh, fantastic! So you should maybe try and just arm bar your way in there. I know. You just sneak me in. I'll carry a cord, whatever you need. I'll come with you. I'm thinking someone would be able to give you a free pass. I'm sure. You would think, but no. Oh. No, I'm excited. I'm going with my friend. Actually, a friend of mine rented a theater back in the States. We're all going to go together opening night, and it's going to be a big day. And when do you fly out of Dubai? We fly out in 2 nights, so we fly on the 16th. Cool. Well, have fun. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you, my friend. Take care. Pleasure. Cheers. Hi, I'm James Vanderbilt, and this is Fashionable.